Hi friends, good morning. Now here is a chapter for you in Civics, Unit 4, India's Foreign Policy. Foreign means the policy it's given a government strategy in dealing with other nations. What is foreign policy? A government strategy, the plans in dealing with other nations. Look at that, what we are going to say in this chapter. Learning objectives. After studying this lesson, students will be able to understand that basic principles of the India's foreign policy. Principles means the truth of the India's foreign policy. Explain the meaning and significance of non-alignment. Alignment means lack of alliance with other nations or groups, especially political. To analyze the stages of our foreign policy. What is foreign policy? A government strategy in dealing with other nations. So explain the importance of the foreign policy. Then recognize what is the difference between the domestic policy and the foreign policy. First, let me go to the introduction. Foreign policy can be defined as a country's policy that is conceived means think up, designed, or it is just given like a form of a plan in the mind how you have planned, designed, planned, and formulated, that is created, to safeguard and promote the national interest in her external affairs in the conduct of a relationship with other countries both bilaterally and multilaterally. What is foreign policy? Foreign policy is nothing but a country's policy that is conceived, designed and formulated to safeguard and promote her national interest in her external affairs in the conduct of relationship with other countries both bilaterally and multilaterally. Bilateral means two, between two. Multi means more than two countries have a relations. So it seeks to secure the best interest of the people, territory and economy of the country. It is a direct reflection of a country's traditional values and overall national policies, her aspirations, that is hope, and self-perception, understanding, awareness, recognition, sense, etc. That is self-perception. Nations have also been interdependent. So interdependence has been an incontrovertible, that is not able to be denied or disputed, unable to deny that. The fact of the international relations. The main tools of foreign policy are treaties, a formal agreement, or we can call as a contracts between two or more countries, treaties, and executive agreements appointing ambassadors, that is diplomats, foreign aid, international trade, and armed forces. The main tools of the foreign policy are the treaties and the executive agreements which appointing the ambassadors, foreign aids, international trade and armed forces. Now look at that, what is given here an important note. The Ministry of External Affairs of India, also known as Foreign Ministry, comes under the Government of India, is responsible for the conduct of foreign relations of India. The Foreign Service Training Institute, New Delhi, established in 1986, which provides training for officers of India Foreign Services, that is IFS. Now look at this. The Constitution of India, 1950, Article 51. It lays down the directive principles of India's foreign policy. The state shall endeavour, that is, the state shall try or to attempt what purpose? To promote international peace and security, maintain the just and honorable relations between the nations, foster the respect for international law and international organization, to encourage the settlement of international disputes by arbitration. Arbitration is nothing but an adjudication. Now here, this is the main objectives of our foreign policy. What are the main objectives? National security, national prosperity. Now Panchashil, it's derived from Sanskrit words Panch, that means five, Shil means virtues, goodness, The 5 principles of peaceful coexistence, Panchashil, between whom? Between the India and China. During the period of Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru, and here in China, Premier Zhou Enlai, was signed on 28 April 1954, which stated that the two governments entered into an agreement based on the following principles. What are the mutual agreements? Now look at this. Panchashil: mutual respect for each other's territorial integrity and sovereignty, mutual non-aggression, mutual non-interference, equality and cooperation for mutual benefit, peaceful coexistence. Any 4 points they are asking in one of your fourth brief answer. So it gives you, these principles were incorporated in the Bandung Declaration, which signed in the Afro-Asian Conference held in 1955 in Indonesia. Basic determinants of a foreign policy. Geographical position and size of territory, nation's history, traditions and philosophical basis. What is philosophical? Devoted to the study of fundamental nature of knowledge, reality and existence. That is philosophical basis. Natural resources, the compulsion of economic development, political stability and structure of government, the necessity of peace, disarmament and non-proliferation of nuclear weapons. Look at that. What is given? The non-proliferation, the prevention of an increase of something, that is the reduction of military forces and the weapons, military strength and the international milieu. Milieu, that is a person's social environment. Foreign policy in 1950s and 1960s. The period from independence through 1950s and 1960s, which constituted the most idealistic phase of India's foreign policy under the guidance of India's first Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru. The new nations that got independence after the long period of colonial struggle found themselves in a very difficult situation with respect to economic development. So it was necessary to align. So that means to join with either of the blocs. So United States of America, USA, or Union Soviet Socialistic Republic, USSR. Nehru, India's first Prime Minister, was opposed to the rivalry of both the two superpowers, America and Russia, who were trying to extend their influence over the newly emerged nations of Asia and Africa. So he chose the path of non-alignment, that is, not aligning with any bloc. Why we should join in the face of the bipolar order of the Cold War and try to form the third bloc of the nations in international affairs. So broadly, non-alignment, that is lack of alliance with any other nations, which means not tying yourself off with military blocs. It means trying to view things as far as possible, not from the military point of view, though that has to come in sometimes, but independently, and trying to maintain friendly relations with all countries. This is a point of view by the Jawaharlal Nehru. Non-aligned movement, NAM, NAM, in 1961. The term non-alignment was coined by V. Krishna Menon in his speech at the United Nations in 1953. Non-alignment has been regarded as the most important feature of India's foreign policy. It aimed to maintain national independence in foreign affairs by not joining any military alliance. Non-aligned movement was formed with the membership of 120 countries and 17 states as observers and 10 international organizations. It has transformed from a political movement to an economical movement. Now, the founding fathers of the non-aligned movement were the persons found: Jawaharlal Nehru of India, Tito of Yugoslavia, Nasser of Egypt, Sukarno of Indonesia, and Kwame Nkrumah of Ghana were the founding fathers of NAM. NAM means non-aligned movement. And so one of your important questions in your civic side. Now, India's foreign policy during Cold War era. The non-alignment rules did not prevent India from entering into an alignment with the Soviet Union by the Indo-Soviet Treaty of 1971 20-year pact of peace, friendship, and cooperation. Then India embarked on a substantial program of military modernization. So in 1974, India also conducted its first nuclear test at Pokhran, it's in Rajasthan, under subterranean nuclear explosion project in response to China's nuclear test in 1964 at Lop Nor. Changing the global conditions which determined the foreign policy details. So, India got her political freedom in the aftermath of the disastrous Second World War, and India had to be redeemed from the acute poverty, illiteracy, and chaotic socio-economic condition, that is disordered. Okay, so hence our new nation could not afford to military entanglements, that is involvement and military alliances. So avoidance of military blocs was then not an option but a necessity. Non-alliance did not mean the neutrality but the freedom of nations to decide on issues independently. So non-alliance did not mean demilitarization of nations. So it was meant to ensure the de-escalation, that is reduction of the intensity of conflicts and the tension. So even without discarding the non-alliance, India could enormously strengthen her defense system and could become a nuclear power. Flaws or faults in details of foreign policy execution have been addressed time and again, but India's basis policy of non-alliance is still in force. This is the first nuclear test at Pokhran near Rajasthan. They have checked how the bomb is just going to be work out, the nuclear test. New developments in the 1990s and the 20th century. During the 1990s, along with the fall of the Soviet Union, a new global economic order, that is liberalization, privatization, and globalization, emerged with the support of the Western powers. India entered into pacts with the Global Economic Forum, GATT, the General Agreement on Tariffs and Trade, and entered into bilateral means between two countries, trilateral, three, more than 2 or 3 agreements. So its nuclear experiments resulted in intermediary reactions from the Western world. This shifts in India's policy manifested in various ways such as better relations with China, the Look East policy 1992, the second nuclear test at Pokhran 1998 in Rajasthan, defense procurement relationship with Israel, energy diplomacy with Arab countries and Iran, agreeing to US nuclear missile defense program, and India's vote against Iran at the International Atomic Energy Agency. India in the resurgent 21st century. The foremost task of India's foreign policy is to enable the domestic transformation of India. India has adjusted to meet the needs of the intensified economic engagement with the world, which is designed to meet the needs of an increased inflow of capital, technology, ideas, and innovation for our development and our re-emergence as one of the world's leading economies. So, India engages with the current global subjects and articulates its international policies in order to gain a prominent place and makes its presence felt in on global scale. So it has joined new global groups like the group of G20, group of 20, India, Brazil, South Africa, that is together we call IBSA, and Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, BRICS. So you're going to learn about these things, which gives more scope for India to play a larger role in global affairs. India's global security concerns are reflected in its military modernization, maritime security, and nuclear policies. India has emerged as a major voice in global decision making and management, and as a bridge and balancing power in the emerging global strategic architecture. The response of our policymakers at economic, political, and strategic level have enabled India to emerge as a potential great power, though it faces enormous developmental challenges. These challenges include the sustaining the country's economic growth rate, ensuring energy and security. Non-military issues like climate change, energy security, competition for scarce resources, food and water security, pandemics and migration. Pandemics, a disease widespread. Okay, what is that is? It's a disease widespread, pandemics and migration from one place to another place moving. Though numerous and formidable, that is inspiring fear. These challenges are not beyond the reach of India's policy establishment. Now, basic concepts of India's foreign policy. So, one of your second detailed answer: preservation of national interest, achievement of world peace, disarmament, fostering cordial relationship with other countries, solving conflicts by peaceful means, solving problems by the peaceful means, independence of thought and action as per the principle of NAM. NAM means non-aligned movement. Equality in conducting international relations, anti-colonialism, anti-imperialism, anti-racism. So these are the things they are following. It's a third detailed answer. Now, policy of disarmament. Since, that is, disarmament meant what? The reduction of military forces and weapons. That means disarmament. Since independence. Global non-proliferation, that is prevention of an increase of nuclear weapons. Proliferation means prevention of an increase of nuclear weapons. It has been a dominant theme of India's nuclear policy. So, India supported UN disarmament program. Indian nuclear program in 1974 and 1998 is only done for strategic purpose. So, two themes of India's nuclear doctrines are no first use. So, don't use the army power, that is armament proliferation. So, credible minimum deterrence. Credible minimum deterrence. So, it has decided not to use nuclear power for offensive purpose and would never use against any non-nuclear state. So, Indo-US civilian nuclear deal marks a significant progress in India's foreign policy. Look at this. It's a SAARC. The next side reading we are going to discuss about the SAARC, South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation. So, which other countries are there in that South Asian Association? We'll come to the point. There is Afghanistan. The colors denotes each and every countries. Look at this. This is Afghanistan. This is Pakistan, India overall here, and this is Nepal, Bhutan, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, and the Maldives. These are the SAARC countries, South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation. Now look at this. What is SAARC? SAARC is an economic and geopolitical organization of 8 countries that are primarily located in South Asia. The SAARC policies aim to promote welfare economics, collective self-reliance among the countries of South Asia, and to accelerate socio-cultural development in the region. SAARC Disaster Management Center was set up at New Delhi. The center is a sleek body of professionals working on various dimensions of disaster risk reduction and management in South Asia. SAARC satellite is a proposed communication cum meteorology satellite by Indian Space Research Organization ISRO for the SAARC region. What is SAARC? South Asian Association for the Regional Cooperation. The member countries are Afghanistan, Bangladesh, Bhutan, India, Nepal, Maldives, Pakistan, and Sri Lanka. So these are the countries you have watched here in a map. The foreign policy and diplomacy. What is foreign policy? It's a combination of strategies carefully formulated by a nation for maintaining the relationship with other nation. Diplomacy. It is the instrument for implementing the foreign policy of a state. So here, the difference between the domestic policy and the foreign policy. What is domestic policy? Domestic policy is a nation's plan for dealing issues within its own nation. It includes laws focusing on domestic affairs, social welfare, healthcare, education, civil rights, economic issues, and social issues. Now look at the foreign policy. It is a nation's plan for dealing with other nation. So, what are the things you're dealing? Trade, diplomacy, sanctions, defense, intelligence, and global environments are the types of foreign policy. Finally, we are going to discuss about the conclusion. Today, India has a formal diplomatic relations with most of the nations. Besides being the world's second most populous country, largest democracy, and one of the fastest growing country, though India is not in any major military alliance, our relations with the major powers have acquired a strategic depth. So, our common fight against terrorism is a particular element of strength. So, India has sought to advise to achieve its security and socio-economic advancement while at the same time working for peace, freedom, progress, and justice to all the nations and the peoples. Thus, India adheres to the foreign policy principle that in international relations there is no permanent friend and no permanent foe, only the interests are permanent. So, new challenges forced India to adjust to new realities. So, even then, basic framework of its foreign policy remained more or less the same. Now, look at the summary. The foreign policy of the government concerns the policy initiatives made towards other states. The Ministry of External Affairs is responsible for carrying out the foreign policy of India. A goal oriented foreign policy has the potential to achieve the improved relationship with the other nations. After independence, joined the Commonwealth nations and strongly supported the independence movement in other countries. During Cold War, adopted the policy of non-aligning itself with any major power blocs. Foreign policy